Hello, and welcome to English 204, Introduction to Professional Writing. I'm Dr. Tirrell, and I'll be your instructor this semester. The purpose of this video is to give you an introduction to the course website, which contains information about course policies, assignments, and due dates. This is a hybrid section of 204, which means that ordinarily we'll have one course meeting per week in our classroom. For us, that will occur on Thursdays from 9:30 through 10:45 in Morton Hall, room 204. We'll also have one course meeting that takes place online, encompassing tasks you'll accomplish independently or occasionally synchronous interactions. Because of this, the course website is absolutely crucial. So after watching this video, make sure to familiarize yourself with it thoroughly. The URL appears on this slide and in the information below the video. You should have received an email from me with it as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. So this is the website. This is what it looks like. Just a word about consistent site features. You can see we've got the tab navigation up here, home, syllabus, assignments, calendar, notes. There will be at least one other tab added during the semester. And then over here on the right, we've got the sidebar information. Part of it's about the course. Tells you the where and when we meet. Tuesdays are online sections for us, and then Thursdays we meet in Morton 204 from 9:30 to 10:45. There's also instructor information, tells you who I am, gives you my email address and my office, which is Morton 161. My hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4. You can also reach me by email or by scheduling an in-person appointment. The homepage here, this collects news updates, changes, things like that. So any new things you should know, I'll put here. Generally, that won't be a ton of updates. There are just a handful throughout the semester. But if there are changes to the calendar or that kind of thing, I'll let you know here. Right now, there's just the welcome message, which gives you an overview of the components of the website and welcomes you to the course, of course. The syllabus, the next section here, that's very important. Make sure to read through it thoroughly. You're going to be abiding by the policies in this syllabus, and you're also going to be completing a contract that indicates that you're familiar with the policies and that you're going to follow them. We're not going to go over them here in the video because you can read them on your own, but do make sure you go through these because they give you, all the course policies on grading and attendance and all that sort of thing. One thing to point out here, the book, you do need to get a textbook for this course. It's The Essentials of Technical Communication, the 3rd edition by Elizabeth Thibault and Sam Draga. We will need this text right away, so go ahead and get that now. You can get it from the bookstore, you can get an electronic version, you can rent it from something like Chegg. I don't really care, you just need it, and you'll need it immediately. So make sure you get that. Everything else I'm going to be providing as links on the course website, but you do need to buy the textbook. Okay, so do read that because you will be completing the course contract, which indicates that you are familiar with the policies and you're going to abide by them. The assignments tab here, this provides information about the things we're going to be doing. We've got 3 major course projects. Right now, only one of them is linked because it's the first one. The other components, we've got engagement assignments. As it says here, those are small assignments necessary for the progress of the course, such as in-class work we'll do and also out-of-class short assignments. Generally, these are only a few points each. Collectively, they account for 5% of the overall course grade, so you do want to make sure that you keep up with those. Reading responses, those are going to be responses associated with course reading material, so generally the course textbook. And they take the form of either brief in-class quizzes or longer explication questions you'll do outside of class. And those match up with, if we're having an in-class meeting period or if it's an online period, whether it's the, the short quiz or the longer response. The cumulative weight of the reading responses is 20% of your overall grade, so that's a good chunk. So you want to make sure you're completing those thoroughly. Only one of our major projects is linked here. It's the first one. It's the corporate communication project. You can kind of see how this breaks down. This will be this breakdown is similar for all of our future projects. You've got a summary which gives you the overview, and then the deliverables are the things you're actually going to submit and their weight for the project grade. Only certain of them are linked right now because we go step by step, stage by stage with projects. So I don't just, dump it at you and then expect you to go complete these. We go step by step. So these are the elements that we have available now. Major projects are each 25% of the course grade, so obviously they're an important element. So that's the assignments tab. The calendar tab, this is the one that is certainly the one you're going to be consulting most. It's the most important for the everyday management of the course. And because this is a hybrid section, more of the onus is on you to be independent and to manage yourself and your own progress. So as it says here, the rows are color-coded. Gray rows for us are in-class periods, which are Thursdays, and then white rows are online periods or Tuesdays. So our first class is the 18th because, the semester starts on a Wednesday, so our first one is a Thursday. It's the 18th. It's in class for us, and you can see what we're going to be doing. Right? This is a Tuesday. It's a white row. It's online, and then the whole semester just alternates between in class and out of class. So those are color-coded for your information. We've got 3 columns as well. The date column, it's pretty self-explanatory, and you can see they basically go Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. This middle column is what's due at the beginning of the period, whether it's in class or out of class. It's whatever's due right at the start. So you can see the first one we have, that'll be Thursday, August the 25th. You can see what's due, right? You're going to need to print and sign the course contract. That's the thing that indicates you are going to abide by the policies. We'll talk about this a little bit more on the 18th. You need to have read Chapter 1 of your course textbook by 9:30 in the morning when class meets. You need to have read the corporate communication project information, and then you'll need to complete the intention document. That's a form, and we'll look at that a little bit more on the first day. But this articulates precisely what is due at the beginning of the period. Then the agenda for that period, and that's this last column, is what we're going to go over in class. So if you miss or anything like that, you know exactly what happens on any particular day. We're going to be doing our first reading response. That's our first quiz, and it'll pertain to Chapter 1 here, so those things will sync up. We're going to introduce our first project, so you'll read about it before class. You'll do the intention document, and then we're going to go over it that day. And then you're going to complete an in-class activity based on crisis analysis. So it's going to be an in-class thing we'll do, analyzing a corporate crisis. Then you can see for an out-of-class period, an online period, like the 30th here, you've got to read 2 chapters before 9:30, and then you're going to complete 2 linked reading responses associated with those chapters. Those aren't currently linked, but they will be before those are due. I'll be adding links to the calendar as we go, essentially. So you'll notice there's no explicit, when are those things due? I mean, obviously, if you're doing an activity in class, it'll be due before the end of class. When are these things due? As the calendar says, unless otherwise indicated, agenda items scheduled for online periods are due before midnight of the same day. So we know that by 9:30 on the 30th, you want to have read these chapters, and then you've got the rest of the day before midnight to complete these assignments, reading response 2 and reading response 3. And that's how the calendar works. You can see this is what's due before the 1st, and here's what we're going to do in class. Here's what's due before the 6th at 9:30, and then here's what you'll do before midnight. It's pretty easy. It's pretty self-explanatory. Within the first couple of meetings, you'll figure out how the calendar works. That's important because it is up to you, since this is a hybrid section, to be a little bit more independent than if this were a face-to-face class where I could remind you in person, hey, make sure you're doing this or that. You've got to be on top of that yourself. So all you have to do is follow along with the calendar. That's all you have to do. Everything is linked. It tells you exactly what you need to have done. Just make sure to keep up with it. So that's the gist of the calendar. I did want to show you one or two things here. For example, we're going to meet on the 18th, so we'll get to go over some of this. But you're watching this video right now for the 23rd, and then it's got this linked personal introductions post. What that means is before midnight, you'll want to watch this. You're doing it, so good job. And then you want to submit the personal introductions post here. I want to show you this one quickly because this is sort of how most of these things work. This is a Google form. We don't use Blackboard in this class. We don't use anything associated with it. We mostly use Google stuff. So this is how it works. This is how it looks. I wanted to show you this because I want to know that you're familiar with this format. Also, once you complete it before midnight, it'll let me know that you're able to do that. You get sort of how these things work. This is also our first engagement assignment grade. So, that 5% of our course grade, this is an example of an engagement assignment. Also, as we'll discuss, since some of these are longer prompts, right, like introduction, provide a few sentences about yourself, including your major and so forth. These are longer prompts. They're a few sentences. They're not long. But this is just a good practice of working with electronic stuff. I really encourage you not to just type stuff in here, because what happens if your computer freezes? All that's just gone. What happens if you click submit and nothing happens? It just keeps spinning and spinning, or it just shows you an error or a blank page. All that work is gone. What you really should do is compose your responses in something else, something that you can save as you go, and then just copy and paste it over. So, a good one would be something like Word. What you could do is just answer the questions there. So introduction, provide a few sentences about yourself, including your major, year, and personal interests. You'd write that here, major, year. So once you've written that, you can save this as you go, right? Then, once you're complete, you can just copy and paste this over. That way, if there's ever an error, if it deletes, if, as happens once a semester here, all the power on campus blitzes, no problem. You've got a saved version. You can just resubmit it. Excuse me. All of these blanks with red stars next to them, those also mean you have to complete them. If I try to submit without doing that, it's not going to let me. So there's never any danger that you're going to submit it without your name, because it's not going to let you do that. Whoops, make sure I fill that in. Got to complete these other ones. So I would respond to those here, right? Definition, provide your definition of professional writing and identified. So professional writing is, and here are some possible examples. Oops. And I'd be saving this, and then I can just copy and paste it over. So that's essentially how this works. I'm just going to put some dummy responses here and these others just to show you. Once you're ready to go, you just click submit, and it tells you your response has been recorded. Once you see that, it will that lets you know that I've got it. For some things like this, you can actually edit if you accidentally hit submit before you're ready or whatever. If it's a required question, it won't let you do that anyway. But if you realize, oops, I needed to add something to my definition blank or whatever, some of them it'll let you do that. Some of them I won't let you do that because, it'll be like a quiz, so you can't go back and change. That's the gist of how that works, though. Okay, I'm going to go back here to our calendar. That gives you an overview of how everything works here on the website. We do have this notes tab. Right now, there's nothing there. That's where class notes go, but we don't have any of those right now. There'll also be another tab here, the grades tab. You can get your grades through this interface as well. I don't post that until we have some grades, so it's not there right now. That's the gist of how everything works, right? Home, syllabus, assignments, calendar, notes, eventually grades. You can see the interface is consistent on every page. We'll get any updates here on the home page. The calendar may change, as it says up here, a little bit throughout the semester. There won't be radical shifts, but always there are small changes just because things happen. I have a conference this fall, for example, and that kind of thing. Make sure you familiarize yourself with this. Make sure you go over that syllabus because, of course, those are the course policies, and you're going to have to fill out this course contract that indicates you know them and you're going to abide by them. All right, that's the gist of it. Again, welcome to the course. I'm excited about this course. I teach a lot of them. I enjoy teaching them. The rhetorical principles that you guys pick up in this course or that you develop, you already have them. We'll just be extending and sharpening them. They're going to help you no matter what field you're in. When you're in this course, I get a lot of folks from all over the university. It's not just my majors. It's folks from all different departments, as we'll see. If you're thinking, why is this for me? Why did my advisor tell me to take this? Whatever field you're in, it's going to help you. I can essentially promise you that. You may not realize it during the course. It may be later when you realize, oh, hey, I've seen stuff like this before, or I'm doing things that I started doing in that course. But I can pretty much guarantee you it's going to help you at some point. This is a hybrid section, so there's a little bit more of an onus on you to be personally invested in this class and to take responsibility for your own success. You will have the opportunity to do well or to do poorly. If you want to do poorly, that's up to you, depending upon how much you keep up with the class and engage with the class. You're going to be doing some of these things independently. You can always contact me with questions. You're going to see me in class. You can always come to office hours. My job is to help you with this, but your job is to then meet with me when you have questions, right? It's a two-way street. I hope you find this course challenging and rewarding. I'm looking forward to the semester, and I will see you guys on the 18th. All right, if you have any other questions, you can shoot me an email or come talk to me during office hours. I will see you then.